I was mid-pour with my coffee when the knock came, 2 sharp raps, then nothing. It was exactly 9:17 a.m., I remember because I just glanced at my watch. The morning had been quiet, routine, forgettable, until I opened the door and found a man in a suit standing there. He was sweating, despite the autumn chill. "Mr. Langford?" he asked, gripping his briefcase like a lifeline. "That's me," I said. "I'm here about a civil matter." "You've been served. Your wife is suing you for $7 million. I just looked at him. My hand stayed fixed to the doorframe, unmoving even as I responded. "My wife's been dead for 2 years. He blinked, laughed nervously, unsure of himself now. I didn't flinch. I'm sorry, sir. This must be a mistake. The documents." I stepped aside. "Let him in." That's when it all started to come apart. Mara and I had been married 15 years. In the beginning, I loved her. God help me, I truly did. She was brilliant, magnetic. Her smile disarmed people, her presence made you forget there was ever darkness behind her eyes. I used to think I was the only one who could see past the act. Turns out, I was just the most convincing fool in the room. We built everything side by side, my law firm, her art gallery. She never cared much about the details of my cases, but she liked the lifestyle they afforded. The clients, the luxury. She played the poised spouse, the socialite, while I handled the blood and grit of courtrooms. Then the cancer came. Quietly, it ate at her. She shrank into silence and slipped away. No service, her choice. Just ashes, and a signed document marking the end. Or so I believed. The first hint of something wrong came from a transaction, $1,900 withdrawn from a joint account I'd thought I closed after her death. The second was more subtle, Chanel No. 5 lingering on a tie I hadn't worn since her funeral. The third arrived in the form of that lawsuit, delivered by a man holding papers signed by a woman allegedly buried years ago. That's when my grief gave way to curiosity. I dug into everything, death records, banking logs, medical documents. What had I missed? Her cremation had been handled by a private service. I remembered the man, slick grin, cheap shoes, cash only. I went back. The place was gone. Just vanished. I kept digging. Pulled security footage from the hospital. Nothing. No record of Mara. Not under her name, not her maiden name. She had disappeared weeks before her death, and I'd been too consumed with sorrow to notice there was never a body. I contacted an old client, ex-CIA, owed me a favor. Within days, I had confirmation. Mara Langford boarded a flight to Argentina 6 days before her supposed death. She wasn't alone. Patrick Voss was with her. That name? I knew well. My former junior associate, the one I fired for embezzling client funds. The same one Mara had begged me to show mercy to. I had. I let him walk. Now I understood why. Revenge isn't fury. It's math. I began by sealing every financial crack they thought they could slip through. Then I followed the paper trail, shell companies listed on the lawsuit. Each led back to a P.O. box in Buenos Aires, registered under aliases we used to call each other, Luna and Soul Enterprises. Cute. I actually laughed when I saw it. I brought in a forensic accountant. Didn't give him details, just names and figures. When he was finished, I had a lattice work of fraud, identity theft, false death claims, insurance scams. It was intricate. Documentary-worthy. Then came the final move. I filed a countersuit, not civil, criminal. Wire fraud. Fake death. Insurance manipulation. Identity theft. Every shred of evidence, flight logs, bank transfers, activity under her name after her death, I compiled it all and handed it to a lawyer I trusted. He sent it straight to the U.S. Attorney's office. But I wasn't done. 2 weeks later, I flew to Buenos Aires. Told no one. I waited outside a gallery I suspected she now ran under a different name. The style was identical. The lighting, too. And then I saw her, alive. Laughing. Holding Patrick's hand. She wore the necklace I'd given her for our 10th anniversary. I took a photo. Walked away. No confrontation. Not yet. 3 days later, Argentine authorities raided their home. Interpol had flagged them as fugitives the moment charges were filed in the U.S. 7 federal counts. No bail. Too risky to let them flee again. I watched the footage online. She looked older. Weary. That sparkle, gone. Patrick cried as they cuffed him. Mara kept her eyes on the floor. She didn't spot me, though I was there, sunglasses on, hidden in the crowd. Close enough to hear the cuffs click. Back home, I returned to silence. The lawyer, the one who delivered the lawsuit, called a week later. Apologized repeatedly. Swore he had no idea he was being used in a scam. I told him not to worry. It was handled. In the end, they both confessed. Patrick flipped first, gave up everything. Mara held out. Pride, maybe. But the evidence was too overwhelming: photos, transactions, boarding passes. They surrendered every cent. Every asset. Even the $7 million she'd tried to take from me. Now, she's serving 14 years, working off her debt in prison, dollar by dollar. Fitting, isn't it? Sometimes, I sit with the last real letter she left behind. In it, she wrote that she was tired, that life had grown too heavy. She never said she planned to vanish with my money, my trust, and the man I once mentored. But I see the truth now, hidden between the lines. I always do. I'm not bitter. I don't scream. I don't drown myself in whiskey. I calculate. Justice doesn't always wear a badge. It doesn't always end with a gavel. Sometimes, it looks like this: a woman who faked her own death forced to watch the man she betrayed walk away stronger, and scathed, and completely, irreversibly, in control. I didn't bury my wife. I buried the lie she became. And left her to rot in it. That's closure. That's justice.